Brrr, it's cold outside. And look, it snowed. It really snowed a lot. And it's still snowing. And this is a winter wonderland. There are so many things you can do in the snow. You can go sledding and make snow angels. You can have a snowball fight, go skiing. You can do so many fun things in the snow. And it's so beautiful. But how much snow is too much snow? The first book I'm going to read this week is called The Snow Lambs, and this book is by Debbie Gliori. The story is about a very intelligent sheepdog named Bess, who rescues a sheep from a blizzard. It was just before supper when the snow started falling. Sam, his dad, and Bess, the sheepdog, were counting in the sheep from the field. "I think you counted that sheep twice, Dad," said Sam. "And if Dad counted a sheep twice, that means another sheep is missing." Dad was looking up at the sky where the storm clouds gathered. The branches on the old elm tree creaked, and Sam shivered. He looked around. "I wonder where Bess is," he thought. "If the wind picks up, that old elm tree could blow down across the power lines, and we'd be in trouble," said Dad, "because when a tree blows down on the power lines, that means that the electricity goes out." The wind fell full of sharp little teeth, nibbling at Sam's nose and biting his ears. "Come on, Sam, let's get these sheep in," said Dad. "I can't see Bess anywhere," said Sam. "Where is she?" When the sheep were safe inside, Dad yelled, "Bess, Bess, come here." His voice was lost in the wind. "Come on, Sam, let's get you inside. You look half frozen," he said. They took off their boots and coats in the mudroom. Dad bolted the door behind them. "But how will Bess get in?" asked Sam. "She won't," said Dad. "That dog is useless. Maybe being shut out will teach her a lesson." But he doesn't know that Bess is out in the middle of the blizzard, looking for and finding the lost sheep. After supper, it was bath time. Sam jumped into his bath with a huge splash. "Bess will need a good hot bath when she comes home," he thought. And here Bess and the sheep are starting to travel home. Mom wrapped Sam up in a warm towel and dried his hair. "That's quite a storm brewing out there," said Mom. "Will Bess be blown away?" asked Sam. "Don't worry, Sam. Bess can look after herself," she said. "I hope Bess doesn't have to dig her way home," thought Sam, digging out his pajamas. But Bess did have to dig a hole under a fence so that she and the lost sheep could get through and continue on their way home. Sam wriggled into his pajamas. "Help," he thought, "I can't see a thing." Outside, snow filled the sky with blinding white flakes. "I hope Bess can see her way home," thought Sam. But Sam was right to worry, because Bess and the sheep can barely see anything in this snowstorm. Sam asked Dad to read him a monster story, and then wished he hadn't. It was a very scary story. Outside, the wind howled. "I hope Bess isn't scared too," whispered Sam. The wind grew louder, hurling itself at the house as if it wanted to tear the roof off. "Bed's the safest place on a night like this," said Dad. "No," said Sam. "Come on, Sam, upstairs," said Mom. "I'm not going," cried Sam. "I've got to wait up for Bess." And just then, the electric goes out and the lights go off. "It's all right, Sam," said Mom. "It's only a power outage. "I knew it," said Dad. "That old elm tree has brought down the power lines." "Oh, poor Bess," said Sam. "How will she find our house when there are no lights?" "Never mind her. You'd better find your way to bed," said Dad. But fortunately for Bess and the lost sheep, the tree fell down over a ravine and made a bridge to help them find their way home. Sam couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Bess. He could hear something outside over the howl of the wind. It sounded like a sheep bleating. Sam tiptoed downstairs and unbolted the door. At first, Sam could see nothing through the whirling snowflakes. Then something large and wet blundered past him, followed by Bess. "Bess! You're covering me in mud, Bess," laughed Sam. Then he looked around and thought, uh-oh. He rushed upstairs to get Mom and Dad. "Well, Bess, it looks like you're a better shepherd than I am," said Dad. "What a clever dog to bring my best ewe home to lamb." And what that means is that the lost sheep is a ewe, or a female sheep, and that she's about to have a baby lamb. Sam wrapped his arms tightly around Bess and whispered in her ear, "Brave Bess, I knew what a clever dog you were all along. I am so glad you're home." And later, when the wind had dropped from a howl to a whisper, the kitchen filled with newborn bleating. "They're snow lambs," said Sam. It was the perfect place to be born. So fortunately for the sheep, that snowstorm wasn't too much for Bess. The second story I'm going to read this week is called The Little Snowplow. It's written by Laura Kohler, and the pictures are by Jane Parker. I wonder how useful a little snowplow can actually be when there's just too much snow. On the mighty mountain road crew, the trucks came in one size, big. That is, until a new snowplow joined the crew. "You're such a little snowplow," the big truck said. "Leave the heavy lifting to us." And off they roared. So all spring, the little snowplow cleared streams while the big trucks got to bulldoze mudslides. And in the summer, he cleaned up after parades while the big trucks built roads. And in the fall, the little snowplow pushed leaves into piles, while the big trucks mounded mountains of salt and sand. As fall turned into winter, the little snowplow began training. He made the light on top go around and blew his horn, beep, beep. He drove forward and back, then he raised his plow and he lowered his plow 10 times fast. Everything was in working order. He could hardly wait for snow. "Ha," said the dump truck, "you've never even seen snow." Well, the little snowplow ignored him. He knew what snow was. "Why, I remember snow up to the eaves," said a cement mixer. "Yeah, we had a big, strong snowplow then," the garbage truck said. "Too bad she retired," the utility truck said. "I heard she moved to a beach in Florida." "Well, I hope it doesn't snow like that this winter," the dump truck said. "It might be too much for a little snowplow. We'd probably have to help." The little snowplow just turned his bumper on the trucks. But that night, he raised and lowered his plow 10 extra times. And the next day, he even did more exercises. He pushed loads of gravel and he pulled blocks of concrete, just in case. One morning, Will, the road crew foreman, burst in before dawn. "It's a real blizzard out there." The dump truck snorted. "Looks like there's already more than a little snowplow can handle." Beep, beep, vroom! The drifts looked soft and fun to the little snowplow. "Let's go," Will said. They drove out into the storm. The little snowplow cleared the streets of Mighty Mountain, but it kept snowing. So the little snowplow cleared the streets of Mighty Mountain again. It snowed even harder, and the wind began to howl. Once more, the little snowplow started to clear the streets. Deep drifts swirled around his treads. Icy gusts blew against his windshield. Snow piled up higher than he could raise his plow. He wondered if he should have done a few more plow lifts. "This one's too big for anyone to handle on their own," Will said, and he called for backup. "I knew that plow would need help," the dump truck grumbled as he drove out. The little snowplow wiped his windshield and kept plowing. Silver Fork, Stampede Avenue, Main Street. That's when he heard a rumbling. He saw the dump truck drive by. Then the little snowplow heard a thundering. He turned the corner of Main and Ridge just as an avalanche swept down the mountain. Whoosh! "Beep, beep, beep!" the little snowplow cried. The avalanche had buried the dump truck. "She's buried," Will yelled. "No time to lose, but it will take hours for the big trucks to move that boulder." The little snowplow drove forward. He backed up, he repositioned, he edged forward, and he squeezed past the boulder. "Way to go, Half Pint," Will said. "The big trucks could not have gotten through." The little snowplow plunged his plow into the avalanche debris. He dug and dug and dug. His engine shuddered, his exhaust sputtered, and the needle on his gas gauge dropped. Will pointed. "There he is!" The little snowplow dug faster. Creak, crack! More snow crashed behind him. "Hurry," Will said. Shovels of snow flew in all directions. Will raced to attach a cable between the two trucks. The little snowplow drove forward, tugging. The dump truck revved his engine and his wheels spun. The little snowplow braced himself and pulled just as he had practiced. The dump truck's wheels gained traction. The little snowplow gave a mighty tug and pulled the dump truck free. "Woohoo!" Will cheered. The dump truck shook snow from his truck bed. "I didn't know a snowplow so little could be so strong," he said. "Beep, beep!" The little snowplow blew his horn. Together, the two trucks worked to clear the boulder. When they finally got back to the garage, all the other trucks honked and beeped and blinked. "Great job!" they shouted. The little snowplow's headlights sagged. His plow dragged. His gas tank was nearly empty. But before turning in for the night, he made the light on top go around and he blew his horn. Beep, beep! He drove forward and back. Then he raised and lowered his plow 10 times. Slow. Because he is very, very tired. Everything was in working order. He could hardly wait for sleep. So it seems that the snow wasn't too much for the little snowplow, and that's a good thing for the dump truck. And now it's time for the craft. Hello, I'm back with the craft, and today we're going to make a snowplow picture. So this is what you'll need. I've already cut out these shapes of a snowplow truck. We've got some wheels that I made out of foam. This is self-stick foam, so you can peel off the back and stick it onto the picture. You can also use regular foam and use either tacky glue or two-sided tape. These are just little round red dots that I have cut in half. This will be for the light on top of the truck. Got some cotton balls, and this is for snow. I've got some gloves here because we're going to use some white paint. This is washable paint. We're going to use some two-sided tape today because it's easier than tacky glue, and I just want to make it easy today. I've got here a toilet paper roll, some scissors, piece of foil. Now I've got a paper plate, and I have a piece of bubble wrap that's used for packing. Okay, and this is what we're going to paint with. I've cut it into a smaller square. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our plate and we're going to pour some white washable paint onto the plate. You don't need to use too much paint, okay? And if you ask, if you request a craft kit from me, I'm actually going to include some white paint with that for you, so you don't even have to buy that. You take the bubble wrap. There is a bubbly side and a flat side. You're going to take the bubbly side and place it down in the paint. Roll it around. Not roll it around, but move it around so you get the bubbles all covered. It's a good time to put on your gloves if you have them. You can do this without gloves because it is washable paint. However, I wouldn't suggest it. Okay, just get the other glove on. This is probably the most difficult part of the craft, getting these gloves on. So now we're going to take the piece of bubble wrap. You see there's paint all on that one side, and you're simply going to put it down. Tap it lightly over your picture. And this will make a lot of snow. This is a large size of construction paper. I like to use either a deeper purple or a blue for the craft so that the paint shows up really well. I'm going to put some more paint on here. This paint goes far. You don't need that much. Just continue to make your snow until you fill in the whole sheet of construction paper, like so. Okay. So far, well, right now I'm going to take off these gloves because they're just getting in my way. And so far, we've got this. A lot of snow, but no snowplow. So, and I've left a little spot up on top that's free of paint so that I can pick it up. It's a good idea to do that. Now we're going to take our two-sided tape. I'm going to take my truck, and I'm just going to put some two-sided tape on the back of this truck. Just like so. Just a couple pieces. The paint is still wet, so you need to be careful, but this will also help the truck stick to the paper, obviously. Just a couple pieces. This tape is wonderful. I love using two-sided tape. It's very easy, and it sticks very well. So now we're going to just put that truck right about here. You don't want to put it in the center. You want to put it a little bit to the side so that we have room for the plow part. Since this is a snow plow. Press it down. Okay, got some paint on me, that's fine. Have some paper towels around too. Now I'm going to take a couple of the wheels. Remember, these are the kind where you can tear off the back and it's self-stick foam. And you don't have to use the self-stick ones. I just happen to have those, and I cut these in the shape of a wheel. So there's one wheel. And the foam is good because it shows, you can cut it out, it shows all the nice treads of the tire, which I think is kind of fun. Okay, now we're going to take our red dot. You can use a piece of construction paper, anything you want for this. I'm just going to stick it on with a piece of two-sided tape. So just put the tape on the back like this and put it right on top of the truck. Because you know when you see a snowplow going at night, you know, well, even during the day, you see the light going so that people know it's coming. Now we're going to take our toilet paper roll. Move the paint out of the way a little bit. I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm going to start at the top and just cut it straight across. Kind of line it up in the middle on the other side and just cut down again. Okay? There you go. This is going to be the plow part of your snowplow. Move this out of the way for just a moment because I've got my foil here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this foil around. So, I've got the snowplow part in the middle. I'm going to bring the foil up on the side. Press it down around the shape of the half a toilet paper roll. So now we know where to cut. I'm going to cut the excess foil off. I'm going to bend this foil down on either side. And there's your plow part of the snowplow truck. So on the back, we're just going to put some two-sided tape again. The miracle of two-sided tape. Another piece. Now we're going to stick this on a slant in the front of the truck. Okay? It'll cover a little bit of the wheel because that's how it'll look to you. So there that is. And there's the plow part. Now, there's only one thing left to do. And that is get some snow. Snow in the form of cotton balls. Let's tear up some cotton balls here. Use as many as you like. That's a good start. I'm going to use some two-sided tape. Put that tape in the middle of the plow. I'm going to get some snow and I'm going to stick it right there. Now, where else would I like to put some snow? Take a piece of tape. Take a piece of snow, just put it on like that. We can stick it wherever you want it to go. So I'm going to take some more tape and some more snow and have some snow falling from the sky maybe. Just like this. I like to put the snow all over the picture. Okay, and if you want, you can punch some holes and you can hang your picture. And maybe you can think of other things to do with bubble wrap and paint. And there you go. So, happy snow, and I'll see you next time.